Welcome to Hitman Boxing. Hit that like and subscribe button. Share the video too, as a matter of fact. Now listen, Terence Crawford, he is the #1 contender for the WBO championship at 147. Jeff Horn is going to be facing Cochran. I think it's going to be in December, January. I don't know. No one really cares about that fight. It's not something I'm looking forward to. It'll be on ESPN. Jeff Horn, since he's TBE, I'm sure he'll make quick work of this guy, right? And then after that, then it's time for him to play ball. It's time for him to give up that belt that he's holding. Now, is Terence Crawford going to steamroll Jeff Horn? Probably. But Jeff Horn is very aggressive as well. Well, actually, you know what? Let me not even... There's no need for me to even give Jeff Horn credit because he's going to get steamrolled. Let me just stop playing and trying to make certain people happy. This is what's going to happen, all right? Jeff Horn is going to get in the ring with Terence Crawford, right? Jeff Horn's going to come forward the entire night, right? And you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? Terence Crawford is going to land a right hand right on his chin and on his nose. And he's going to go night-night. That's what's going to happen. All right? But we're not here to talk about Jeff Horn and Terence Crawford. I mean, that fight's going to happen. And we know the outcome before it even happens. You can say what you want about boxing. Anything can happen here. Anything can happen there. But guess what? Jeff Horn can't beat Terence Crawford. I don't care if Terence Crawford's just moving up from 140. I don't care if Terence Crawford's moving up from 126 to 147. He beats Jeff Horn any day of the week. All right? I don't care if Jeff Horn's TBE. I don't care if Jeff Horn fights kangaroos. He can't beat Terence Crawford. Not enough ranting about that, because we got some real stuff to discuss here. The question is, once Terence Crawford wins that WBO championship, is he going to duck Errol Spence? Terence Crawford doesn't strike me as someone who is afraid, because Terence Crawford's got a lot of dog in him. I see that mean streak in him, man. You know, let's not forget what he did to them dudes that was trying to fix his car. You know, he held them hostage, and he stole his car back, and he did some time for it. All right? Terence Crawford ain't somebody you need to mess with. Like, Terence Crawford is really about that life. He's about that life. He's a silent dude. He don't talk a lot, but he shows you what he's capable of doing. Now, Terence Crawford's done something that no one in the welterweight division has done currently, and that's unify their division. You got guys that have mentioned unifying the division in the past, like Keith Thurman, but he doesn't seem too willing to try to make that happen at this point. Now, Terence Crawford did it at 140. Can he do it at 147? There's a lot of roadblocks in place for this to happen. Terence Crawford is being promoted by Bob Arum, and he does all his fighting on HBO. Now, is Bob Arum going to be willing to put Terence Crawford in the ring with Keith Thurman, Errol Spence? I mean, he's mentioned putting him in the ring with Errol Spence, but in order for that fight to actually happen, it's got to make dollars and it's got to make sense. And to be honest with you right now, neither one of these guys is a huge draw in the sport of boxing. I mean, is Terence Crawford? Terence Crawford's got to be making at least $1 million a fight. I know Terence Crawford made $3 million, or he's making $3 million off of the Lamont Peterson fight, right? But it's a fight that could be made. I'm just not sure if Bob Arum is willing to make that fight. Like, to be honest, that's a tough fight for both of these guys. I would think he would put Terence Crawford in the ring with Keith Thurman before Errol Spence. I mean, Errol Spence is just, he's slow. But you know what? I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people are counting Terence Crawford out when it comes to him fighting Errol Spence. I mean, they're both kind of in the same boat in terms of resume, where their resumes aren't the best. I mean, Terence Crawford, I would say, I'm thinking, man, he kind of has the better resume. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think Terence Crawford has a better resume than Errol Spence? I mean, Errol Spence really only got that body bag of Kell Brook on his list. That's it. But, you know, Terence Crawford got a few body bags, man. Postal, Gamboa. He got a few body bags, man. But anyway, Bob Arum, I'm not sure if Bob Arum's going to be willing to put that dude up against Errol Spence, man, because it's it's a risk, and he'd be willing, like, he'd be losing his WBO championship to one of the PBC guys. You know what I'm saying? If that were the case, if it were a case of Errol Spence beating Terence Crawford, you know, he would lose the WBO championship, and then he's got nothing at welterweight. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think Bob Arum is in control of all the WBO championship belts and all the different weight classes. Is he promoting Joseph Parker? Joseph Parker is the WBO champion. I could have sworn they had some sort of deal where he would be able to promote him stateside or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence. That seems to be the fight that everyone is looking forward to. In fact, that's a lot more likely. I know I've mentioned the difficulty in making this fight, but it would almost seem as if this fight would happen before Spence Thurman. Since Keith Thurman is ducking, he's ducking because he's terrified. He's terrified. He's peed his pants anytime he hears the name Errol Spence. Anytime. And I don't care what facts you bring up, all right? I got a fact right now. Keith Thurman's scared. Tell him Hitman Boxing said that. He's scared. He don't want it. He don't want it with Terence Crawford either. Look, Keith Thurman say he got an O and he ain't afraid to let it go. But it's going to be gone. It's going to be gone in the next 2 to 3 years when he starts stepping up his competition. Stop trying to think he Floyd Mayweather, trying to dictate terms, fighting once and twice a year. Anyway, Terence Crawford. I think Terence Crawford beats Keith Thurman. I think Terence Crawford gives Errol Spence a great fight too. I think he could beat Errol Spence too, to be honest with you. He got more tools in his bag, man. But we don't know. We don't even know if we're ever going to get a chance to see these dudes fight. You know? When was the last time you saw two high-profile fighters, one being a PBC fighter, the other being a Bob Arum fighter? And let's not use the Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather example, okay? There was so much money at stake for that fight that it had to happen. That kind of money's not available for Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford is not a big draw, but neither is Spence. Now, I honestly feel that Terence Crawford has no problem fighting Errol Spence. I don't look at Terence Crawford as a coward like I do Keith Thurman. All right? Terence Crawford don't back down from nobody, and that's real talk. But time will tell if we get this fight. Right now, it's not a big money fight at all. So the likelihood of it happening within the next couple of years, pretty slim. I mean, I would guess that Terence Crawford would have to really push for that fight if he wanted it. You know, if it makes dollars, it makes sense, man. That's all that really matters in boxing, man. It ain't about your legacy. It's about the money, man. Like, dudes are more concerned with their money and instead of, you know, defending their belts or, you know, fighting top 10 opponents. People just want to get paid, bro. That's all that they care about. And that's cool and all, but as a boxing fan, it kind of sucks for us because, you know, we get these terrible fights. Now, I shouldn't say it's terrible, but we get these mediocre fights. I mean, just look at what we got coming up. We've got Rigondeaux Lomachenko coming up, right? It's at 1:30. Now, by our standards, the boxing community standards, that's a huge fight, right? But in the grand scheme of things, it's really not a big fight at all. It's going to be on ESPN. It's not even, is it supposed to be at Madison Square Garden, one of the little small rooms or whatever? Yeah, man, it's not going to be a huge fight, man, but I'm definitely going to watch that. But, you know, what we perceive as a huge fight really isn't. You know, it's not a big event. It's not going to be a big event. But doesn't mean I'm not going to watch it. Looking forward to it. I should probably post my prediction video on that sooner rather than later because it's dropping in the week. But Terence Crawford ain't scared of Errol Spence. He ain't scared of Keith Thurman. He ready to go. He going to slap that boy, Jeffrey the Hornet Horn. He going to slap him up. He going to take his belt. Then Jeff Horn is going to disappear, going back down under, going to hit one of them sand pits down there. All right? That's what he going to do. He going to disappear. All right? He ain't making no money after this, Bo. He ain't making no money after this, I'm telling you, all right? And look, Terence Crawford gonna take that little weak WBO belt. You know, the belt don't even fold. You can't even wear it like a regular belt because it's not even really a title. But for the purpose of this video, it's a title belt. All right, he gonna take that belt, and he ain't got nobody he can fight over there at top rank. Right? He got like 3 people. Look, this is what's gonna happen. Terence Crawford probably gonna fight Lucas Matisse. That's the guy I see him fighting. You know, one of them golden girl fighters, right? So Lucas Matisse. I mean, that'd be an interesting fight. Lucas Matisse gonna get smoked. You know, he might be able to get a few deals with some of these lower end PBC guys. You know, but you know, at the end of the day, as a boxing fan, I want to see Terence Crawford mix it up with the PBC boys. I want to see him get in the ring with Errol, the True Spence. I want to see him get in there and just destroy Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman. I want to see him get in there with Danny Garcia because they used to have beef. I even want to see him fight Sean Porter, man. He got options, man. Why don't you come over to PBC? Why don't you come on over to PBC, Terence? How many more fights you got on your contract, man? Bob Arum ain't doing you no favors over there, man. Come over here to PBC and get you that $1 to $2 million and fight one time a year like everybody else. Just like Keith one time. Come over here and get that money. And you only got to fight once a year. Just like everybody's savior, Keefy Poo. Hitman Boxing. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think wins between Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Who do you think wins between Terence Crawford and Keith Thurman? Who do you think beats Terence Crawford at 147? And let me know why. Hitman Boxing, I'm out.